Hello, Vortex. I was just thinking about how a lot of packages say natural flavor with other natural flavors. Is that not suspicious? You know, why don't they just say natural flavors? Because that would save them space and time. But they're probably required to say that. And I'm sure that the majority of people would read that and be like, oh, it's made with natural flavor and other natural flavors. Nothing to see here. Yoink. You know, they wouldn't understand why that's a little bit troublesome. Now, I say this, and I'm still using the product. Still buying the product, still using the product. So, you know, I guess that makes me a hypocrite in a way, right? If you point that out, you're right to point it out, and I appreciate you for noticing. But yeah, man. So I'm trying to find a place to rest the vortex, but I'm struggling right now. Let's see here. Does that work? That's probably gonna fall eventually, but until it does, there you go. But yeah, it's like, I really want to be a vegan. And not just so I can gloat about it, but, you know, I just know that that's probably the healthiest way that I could live. And I probably feel a lot better about myself, too. Are you a vegan, Mr. Theron? If you come to my house, you should teach me how to be a vegan. You can stay at my house for free if you just teach me how to be a vegan. I'm not even joking. I need people to help me in certain regards. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you know? I tried to be a vegetarian, and I was a vegetarian for like, it was either 6 months or a year. I don't remember because it was a long time ago, and I was an alcoholic. So I don't really remember a lot from that era. But, it's crazy. I almost died. I almost died because I wasn't taking care of myself. And I think a lot of people that, you know, they try to be healthy and then they just end up hurting themselves even more because they don't know what they're doing. And I'm definitely in danger of that because, like, you know, I'll read something and it'll freak me out and I'll be like, I need to quit doing this right away. And then I'll just completely throw myself off. I think that's why, like, I've been pretty successful, you know, like when I quit smoking weed, because I know that it's not like, well, it's not really that serious. Like, I'm very mentally ill prepared, so like I already know like what's gonna happen with me, so that doesn't freak me out. Like, anything in regards to medication never freaks me out. I used to go on and off my psychiatric medication all the time. And my psychiatrist would be like, look, if you don't want to be on the medication, don't be on the medication, but like, don't do what you're doing because it's bad. But I don't know. I feel like, you know, I was training myself. And it's like all the stuff they tell you, I always do the opposite. And I've noticed that, like, my results are a lot better than all the people that took advice. Because every time that I've taken advice from the sheep, I've always regretted it because it doesn't work out for me. And if it doesn't work out for me, and I know that I'm extra, but who knows what it's doing to the public? Who knows what it's doing to the youth? Like, I don't think that, like, the prescribed method is the one that works. They just prescribe it because they don't know what else to do. I mean, all these people in the medical profession, I mean, they basically admitted the fact that they don't know what the hell they're doing. Let me ask you something. What's the point in going to medical school for 12 years if all you're going to do is write a prescription? You know? You don't need 12 years of school to do that shit. You don't need 12 years of school to just sign a piece of paper. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that nobody calls their practice into question It's like, I believe I've mentioned this before. Like at my work, you know, there's a TV in the break room, and I can't help but notice all the commercials that are advertising for faulty medication and bad advice from doctors, you know. You could be entitled to compensation. Did your dick fall off? You know? You'd think, like, by the looks of some of these men, yeah, it might have, you know. But, I don't know. I don't want to just knock men. I'm not one of those women. Don't worry. Don't worry. But I think that my criticism is pretty valid. And if it wasn't, people wouldn't get offended by it. Because if my criticism was ridiculous, you know, people would just move on and they would talk about something else. I think that whenever you speak the truth, like, people don't know what to say, or, you know, they get offended and, you know, they call you names or they walk away. But, you know, a lot of people that I get into arguments with, it's like they don't have anything to back up their argument. All they have is, oh, well, I read this. Well, I read a lot of stuff too. And like, my pile of evidence is like this fucking big, and your pile of evidence is like that, and it was just handed to you by the mainstream conventional pieces of shit that make a lot of money off of your ignorance. Okay? I'm not trying to yell at you, because, you know, I realize that nobody's ever taught people, like, because this doesn't positively impact, you know, the powers that be or whatever, you know, that doesn't help them to have an educated public. And so why would they teach you to question authority in public school? Why would they teach you to question authority in church? Why would they teach you to question, why would a parent teach their kids to question them? You know, I know that drove my parents up one wall and down another, me questioning every single thing that they told me, but, you know, they're sheep, so, you know, they've been wrong about a lot of stuff, but it's okay because, you know, and this is how I feel about sheep. I feel like, you know, a lot of them have really good intentions, so they look at what's out there, they look at the information that they've been provided, and they're like, why would they lie, you know? It's like beyond them to think that, like, a doctor could be committing malpractice and do this on purpose, you know? But I think that a lot of doctors are probably sheep. A lot of bureaucrats and a lot of education people, if that's what you call them, are sheep. You know, they just do what they're told. And so it's like if you have a whole system that's based off of that doesn't question things, that doesn't do adequate amounts of research, because that would take time and effort. And I really don't hold it against the public, but then again, I do, because I'm a mixed bag, you guys. Very contradictory, I realize, but, you know, that's okay though. Everybody wants to be black or white about everything. Everybody just wants to have one emotion. And there's no better example of this than said president. Because he's just exacerbated every terrible thing in this country, man. Oh my God. But, you know, a lot of stuff has been revealed because of him. And I highly doubt that under a Hillary Clinton presidency, all of this stuff would have come forward. I just don't think that would have been the case. I mean, even this whole virus, you know, it's exposed like how we shouldn't have been relying on China for anything. You know, I don't understand, like, there's just so much that's screwed up about this country, and the same people that want to complain about how it's coming from one side, it's like their side is equally responsible for it because they're not doing enough. Because if they did stuff, it would probably inconvenience them, and it would force them to have to work harder. So, shout out to Tulsi Gabbard. I fucking love you. And as much as I don't want a woman to be president, I would vote for you. I would. Oh my goodness, she's so amazing. She's so amazing. I love that little gray streak in her hair. It's so hot. Here I am again, objectifying her. No. She's a very, very smart lady. And, You know, I have the utmost respect for a woman that can actually do what she says she wants to do, and she doesn't make it about, you know, all the stuff that all the other women make it about, you know, like, oh, well, I'm being discriminated against, da 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 da. Or you don't have talent or charisma. That's a lot harder pill to swallow than, you know, just saying it's sexist or misogynist or whatever. I'm really getting sick of hearing the word misogynist because, like, there's a huge difference between being a sexist and just being biased towards women. I know that I'm a sexist. I've been a sexist my entire life because I see how women play the victim. I've noticed this since I was a child, okay? Women get away with way more than men, and if you want proof of that, just look at our judicial system, okay? But, like, I'm not a misogynist. If I were a misogynist, I work for Planned Parenthood, okay? So, you know, I don't understand what's the slightest bit feminist about encouraging women to abort their babies. You know, that just, you should encourage them to be knowledgeable about their bodies, okay? Because if they know about their menstrual cycle, okay, I'm ovulating at this time. So that means that I can have sex during these days, you know, and it's not going to affect me. Now, personally, you know, I hate how sex is treated. And I think that has a lot to do with, you know, people are so hush-hush about things. You know, they think, and there's really no greater example of this than mental illness. So rather than people talk about their problems openly and honestly, we tell these people to go into a room and talk to a very reliable clipboard person with very reliable labels juxtaposed with very reliable medicine, okay? This is their solution to mental illness, okay? Don't talk about it except to one person with a clipboard. And I mean, that's just so ridiculous. And you see the results of that. You see the results of that, of people not talking about things. And well, I forget what my original point was. Fuck. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But what was I saying? What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. But no, but we don't talk about things as a country, okay? A lot of stuff that happens in the country, we don't talk about it because it's not convenient to talk about. And, you know, but especially in regards to mental illness, it's just easier to designate that to a small group of people that are equipped to handle that, okay? Let me tell you something. I have schooled so many medical professionals, okay? I've schooled them. And they tell me that. They're like, you know more than me. Yes, because I have to, because you don't know shit. This is your fault, okay? But like I said, they're sheep too, so, you know, they're only going to tell you what they've been told to tell you. So like I said, it's the system. It's the whole system that needs to be destroyed. It's not just one aspect of it. The whole thing needs to go. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. But, sorry. It's the truth. And I'm sticking to it. That's a quote, what, Colin Quinn? Didn't Colin Quinn used to say that on SNL? Back when SNL was actually decent. Oh, but I think that, you know, a lot of this stuff, people don't want to talk about it because, you know, that would force them to have to do something different. And, you know, this country just hates to be inconvenienced in any kind of way, you know. They will let everything burn down and fall the fuck apart and crumble before they'll get out of their house and do something different. But I was thinking about how, you know, anytime that somebody's weird or somebody's different, it's like, you just assume it's bad. You assume it's wrong. It's like, why? It's like I wear mismatched socks and this like drives people crazy. It's like, really, dude? Calm down. So boring. Anyway.